chase my trouble away with a little Patron. Talking about a
Gaucher resident Matt Hoggatt decided to literally live his life like a song when he traded his police badge for a guitar and the chance to follow his dream.
I took a year-long thought process on it, saved up as much money as I could, and I jumped, and still flying through the air as we speak.
Matt's magical journey began when he won first place in American Songwriter Magazine's contest. The winning lyric was written like a letter to his childhood hero.
My biggest hero at the time was Jimmy Buffett, and when I was a kid, about 13 years old, we were going to take a trip, me and my family, down to Key West, Florida for spring break, and it snowed during spring that year. It was a freak thing. And we delayed our trip a day because of ice on the bridge.
Here we are in the morning. We're supposed to be leaving for Key West today.
My whole dream was to meet Jimmy Buffett. I thought I would just walk in the restaurant, he'd be in there drinking a beer. I'd tell him I'm his biggest fan. You know, you're 13 years old, that's how it goes. Well, he wasn't there. But as we were heading south, I did see his tour bus heading north. We had just passed him on the road, and really broke my heart.
We are here at Jimmy Buffett's house. He owns all of this behind here. Matthew.
The closest I'm getting.
And he's got a cute sign on his gate. And so this is part of Matthew's dream. We didn't get to see Jimmy this trip.
But my whole mission was I had planned out these things I was going to tell him at 13 years old. You know, I'm your biggest fan. I really like your music. We're from the same hometown. And I kind of had written it all down, rough notes, in sort of a letter. Well, the song that I sent American Songwriter Magazine was based on those things that I would have told him if I had been able to meet him, with the added twist that now I had become a songwriter.
The song was Dear Jimmy Buffett, and Matt recorded himself playing the winning number at a local bar after getting the good news.
Well, dear Jimmy Buffett, I wrote you this song. I hope that you like how it goes.
And I told everybody that I'd won this contest from the stage, and there was like 10 people there. And I videoed myself playing my song that I won with. And when I got home, I uploaded it to YouTube with all 10 people in the background cheering. And that just so happened that coincided with the release of the contest. I'd won first place, and when that went public, they linked that video to the magazine online, and it went viral. And Jimmy Buffett's people found it, and then that's how it came to be.
Well, dear Jimmy Buffett, if you're hearing this song, I could sure use a record deal this year.
And they said, we'd like you to invite you to a show. We got Birmingham and Tallahassee coming up, so I picked Birmingham because it was the closest. And I had some vacation time for work, so I called in sick. I can tell that now because I don't work there anymore, but I called in sick. And I was sick. I was sick of my job. And I decided not to go to work. I was going to go to Birmingham to the Buffett show. And I thought I was going to get there and get a ticket, you know, and maybe a good seat. And when I got there, I found out there was no ticket. I had a backstage pass. And they kind of put me in a room, and a couple people came in and talked to me, and I guess they were feeling me out to see if I was crazy or not, you know. And they asked me some questions about me and had me play a little bit of music, and then they told me basically that I was going to be performing my song for Jimmy in his dressing room. So I got in there and I played my song for him on the couch. And he said, how would you feel about performing that tonight on stage with me? Well, you told. I said, all right, that's fine with me. He said, well, are you sure you're going to be okay in front of all these people? So I have no way of knowing that. You know, last night I played for like 10 people, and there's like 15,000 here, but I'm going to try.
Of songs you know by heart. No, sir, I'm not a sailor, but I feel like one now, 'cause you put my heart in the sea. Yeah, but you must have learned something I never did that made you more money than me.
At the end of the song, you know how when Jimmy sang back to him, the coolest part was there when in Jimmy's last lines, well, let's talk about that record deal this year. So everybody was high-fiving, and here it is, it's gonna happen.
So let's talk about that record deal this year.
They sent me on a tour from Key West to New Orleans, and they gave me a sound engineer that came with us and recorded all of the shows. And that's what my album I have now is a live album compiled from those performances.
Favorite piece of fine art? Yeah, that autograph poster was a picture of his fantasy. She knew I would have heard him.
Of course, they provided the transportation for him, and they also provided the hotel rooms. In Key West, however, his accommodation was Jimmy Buffett's house, the very house that he had filmed at age 13. Not only did he wind up getting pictured at age 13, 20 years later, he's sleeping in that house.
I owe her a part of my soul, and that's what I give her. And it don't matter if I die today, if I leave or if I roam. I'll go back there.
After a year of trying to juggle two careers, Matt decided to follow the direction of his heart.
But I had to make a choice between music and police work. And, you can go into any town, anywhere, especially in Mississippi or the South or the world for that matter, and they're always going to be looking for somebody to be a police officer. Just sad truth. But there's not a whole lot of people writing songs called Dear Jimmy Buffett, putting them on the internet, going viral, getting invited to Key West, Florida. So I took a jump, and I'm glad I did, and it's been the best decision I made ever since then. At least I have a heck of a story to tell, you know.
Ice cold beer. They say there's better things in life, but we got the best right here. I was born on the singing river.
He tells his kids, follow your dream. And he even told us, how can I influence them if I'm not willing to follow mine? And that's what he's doing.
I'll go back there, 'cause that's my home.
I'm lucky enough that my boss's motto is it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so I can kind of make up my own rules. I'm entrusted a lot to do what I do, and I get to be as creative as I like, and for the most part go where I like and play where I like, play what I like, with who I like, and I think that's just the most rewarding thing. But you don't have to be a flashy person with $150 haircut and skinny jeans and crazy things on your wardrobe all the time to make it successful. You don't have to have all of those things. You can make it as an independent artist, but you have to have songs that people like, and you have to have something that people like so they'll come to your show.
Buffett better watch out. We'll have Matt Hoggatt casinos and airplanes and everything else next. That's where he's headed.